having Jordan back, bringing an important player back this time of the year, I'd imagine must be a move regardless. But with his presence and his personality and everything, what kind of lift is it for you guys to have him back?
It's been good. And I say it's been good because, look, kid was a little reluctant to talk, but I let the cat out of the bag, and then Jackson retweeted everything, and then, now I had to put him up here in front of all you guys. But it's been good having him back because he's been in training, and all the players kind of knew that it was coming. And so that's been building. I know the questions about first tackle and some of those things that he's going to feel. Does he have butterflies? Yes, of course. I love that story that he says he has butterflies, Jada. But he's been doing a lot of those things already on the field. He's been tackled on the field. He's been working. He's been sprinting. He's been doing a lot of stuff. The fitness question, he might have an edge in the fitness because he has been working so hard in his recovery, more so than when you come back from a hamstring injury where you got to kind of just build that up. He's been building that up for 2 months. So I think he'll be ready, to take a little bit of pressure off him. We'll try and get him in the game. But we've already managed expectations with him. Look, if we're defending late and we need the 3 points, he might not play. If we need a goal, of course he's going to play. If it's even, if it's tied, if we're up 3, best case scenario, and I can get him on and he can kind of get his feet wet. There's plenty of scenarios that will happen on Monday that will dictate playing time and what he does.
So there's not any medical restrictions?
No medical restriction.
We saw little Q doing some artwork. Is he all right?
His ankle is dinged up because of that horrible tackle. So he's day to day.
Any updates on Will Bruin?
Will Bruin has a knee issue that I don't have the correct medical terminology, but he will not feature in the game on Monday. I'll give you guys more updates when I get the actual terminology and everything. He's going to see a specialist. We'll get that information to you.
Brian, last play of practice, if I remember correctly, Ladero to Montero, and you ended practice on that note. Just what does that do in terms of A, the squad you have, and B, the confidence that you guys can get back on track and get ready?
Well, I think the group has confidence. You guys that were out here saw it was a pretty spirited training session. They were good. They were getting after it. The rain stopped, helped. So overall, I was pleased with the way training went, and it just shows Nico's quality and Freddie's quality. I don't know if you guys saw JP chipping the goalkeeper too. There were some good goals scored, so it was good training.
Coach, going back to Lewis, he just talked about how he heard the expectations about his prognosis and how Wayne's going to get back. And he talked about wanting to defy those expectations. How did you see that manifest itself in his determination to get back?
If I'm hearing your question correctly, how did he want to defy the go higher than?
Yeah, how did you see him just
Well, I think that's natural. It's within the kid. He's a great kid. Like I said, he's a competitive kid. He's had success at the highest levels, playing for the national team. So he's driven. And then, look, he likes all of his teammates. And he's been watching his teammates up until recently have a really good season. And so he's itching to get back to, be involved in this year. So I think some of that's internal, some of that's external because he's with his buddies every day now. So I think it's just him.
It's natural for him to want to get back as soon as he can.
Yeah.
Last time around, his previous recovery, you guys are pretty cautious about the timeline, kind of pushing it into the next year. What's different this time that convinced you?
Well, I don't know the exact dates, Matt, but from what I've heard and seen, it's a similar timeline. I didn't think there was much difference.
I think it was the radio show, you had called yourself a desperate team. Is that desperate for a win or?
Who? That we're desperate?
Yeah.
Did I say that?
I think it was that.
He said we both teams are desperate.
Yeah, you did.
Oh. Well, I'm desperate for the team to play up to their abilities, and that's going to give us the best chance of winning. We're in the playoffs. I'm not so sure Galaxy has made the playoffs yet, so I can tweak that statement a little bit.
Well, yeah, and that's and that's more so what I mean is like desperate in what kind of nature or yeah.
I'm hopeful. For the record, I'm hopeful that the team plays well on Monday. And then whatever happens with the score line, that's what they have to play well. And then against Vancouver, they have to play well or up to their potential. And then we will see what happens in the playoffs.
You guys stopped talking about the supporter shield at one point. Are you not talking about first place at this point or trying to get?
We are talking about Galaxy.
Brian, the team has struggled defensively over the last couple of games.
Yep.
How are you managing that? How is that a point of emphasis this week?
Well, we'll be doing some defending tomorrow. We did some defending today. We watched film. We did our process, our normal process. So, hopefully with a little continuity along the back line. I know Jimmy's been dinged up. So Jimmy, Brad, but you get some continuity. You get guys used to playing with each other again. Hopefully that'll help. But you are absolutely correct. I wasn't pleased with not just the back five, in midfield, up front. The team didn't defend very well.
FIFA's got a visit coming up here, a press for the match. Just kind of your thoughts on what you're expecting, what you're hoping to see with the visit.
Well, what I'm hoping that FIFA sees is a really good soccer game, an entertaining soccer game on a full stadium. I know I don't know all the members of the board, but it's pretty impressive. I mean, from Russell and Ciara to the mayor. I mean, people from Microsoft, smart people, a lot smarter than me. It's really impressive the amount of effort that our club has put into trying to host a game. I think, Mickey, it would be fantastic. I mean, our stadium, our city, I believe is built for World Cup. I mean, that stadium was actually built for, these types of games. So I'm hoping that whatever FIFA sees is positive, and we get some games. That would be unbelievable.
Can you give an update on Waluigi too?
Yeah, he trained in most of training. He'll probably train in full tomorrow, provided there's no setback from his work today.
Will he play on Monday? Or is
Say that again?
there a chance he'll play
Of course, Jada, there's always a chance.
And Nico, I didn't hear, was that earlier that you were talking about Nico on the radio? You said he would start. Is that if his knee was okay? Is that still full?
He's in consideration to start, Jada, if his knee didn't swell up.
And it didn't.
He looked pretty good out there.
Hey, Brian,
You,
going back. Were you done, Jada?
No, I did. I wanted to know if any excitement has to be tempered. When you have those types of players coming back, and just the realistic, how they're able to perform together, or within the team, the chemistry. I mean, does anything have to be tempered, and what the expectations would be?
Well, the hopes are high and the expectations can be tempered. I can tell you that soccer is a team sport, and when you incorporate pieces back into a team, sometimes it goes smoothly, other times it takes a little bit of time. Right now, time is not our ally. We're trying to get guys back into a pretty established group, and that will be the challenge. That will be the challenge for the coaching staff, for myself, and we'll just do the best we can. During that international window, after our final home game, or after the final game in Vancouver, Decision Day, there will be plenty of training days to work on it. Now, if Raul goes back to Peru, or we're missing Christian and all of that, that creates some problems. So it's not going to be easy, but we have never been afraid of any challenges at this club. Whoever steps on the field, they know the expectations as far as themselves as individuals are concerned. But from a tactical soccer perspective, Jada, yes, there are some questions that need to be answered.
Is this have you faced this kind of challenge before?
Well, I'm sure along the way we have, because we've had plenty of seasons where we've had a pile of injuries, we had to come back. Our narrative used to be slow starts, and then we'd pick it up at the end. Seems like last few years we've had hot starts and we've tailed off, but I wouldn't call 2019 or 2020 tailing off in the playoffs because we made finals. So yeah, there's always challenges. You're always faced with uncertainties with the international windows. We'll get through it.
Ryan, going back to the film, when you looked at it defensive-wise, you just talked about that. Was it the positioning? Was it the community?
It's a little bit of everything. All 3 goals were different. You know, all 3 different, individual, group, the lack of possession prior to the goals. I mean, you could point at a lot of things.
You guys were running. Looked like they were running into the box.
Well, you got to run into the box to score. Usually, hopefully, you have people pressing the ball. You have people defending in the box. I mean, again, it's a team sport, so you know we didn't work well as a team defensively.
And you've got the international break after this. So are these first 2 games for you to kind of evaluate, and how much change do you make before the playoffs? 2 games, a lot of film study, and then the game.
Well, we've always put out the best team possible, which is what we're going to continue to do. There might be certain tweaks for different tactics and things like that, but I mean, by now you guys know the 13 guys that probably are going to be selected from. I mean, you guys pretty much know that.
Speaking of the international break, Raul wasn't called in back through. You've always had the guys his back to go play nationally, but does it feel good that you're going to have Raul here?
Thank you for that bit of information.
Okay,
You're always good for a little nugget here and there.
thank you. So does that make you happy? Is that a
Of
good
course. Keep Raul here. We can train all the time together as a family.